Okay, today we are going to start with the tutorial of K-layout. Okay, and this is the outline of this course. First, we'll introduce what is K-layout, and after that, we'll also tell you about how to download and install it. Then we'll talk about how to join shapes with K-layout. And then we'll talk about how to editing shape inside K-layout. And we'll talk about the cell hierarchies, like how to divide patterns and shapes into different cells and to modify them entirely instead of separated one by one. And after that, we'll introduce about how to use P-cell. It's a very convenient function. And finally, we'll talk about how to fill two shapes with the tool there. So first, we'll talk about what is K-layout. Okay. So K-layout is a layout tool. You can use it just as a viewer. So they can read GDS files. They can read OECs, DXF files, CIF Gerber files, and so the others. Okay. The important thing we want to introduce that is because right now it's free, so you can generally install it and just run it without paying any license fees. Okay. So in general, it will support GDS and OSS file formats, and usually it runs very fast, and you can integrate with Ruby or Python scripts. Which means if you want to generate patterns by your code, you can code in it, then you can install it into the K-layout development environment. Okay. So for viewer, if you don't need to edit in something, you just need to see the layout from your previous design or other people's design. Then you can use viewer mode, so you don't have to worry about you will modify it or you will change something, because like in layout, the structure is usually complicated, right? And when you are looking for it, you usually have to move your mouses everywhere, and sometimes you worry that you may change some patterns inside it. So you can use viewer mode, so you don't have to worry about you change the shapes during you are watching it. Okay. And if you want to editing files, then you can use editor mode. Okay. First, we will talk about like how to download and install it. You can simply go to the K-layout website, okay, with this link, okay, and also you pick a platform like Windows-based or Linux-based, and based on what your system is, you can download different install to install it. Okay. And after you download it completely, you can start to install it. And after you install, you should find the K-layout default, K-layout editor, and the K-layout viewer in your options menus. Okay. Also, during you are using K-layout, if you have any issues or when you download or install it, you have encountered some troubles, you can went to K-layout forum to looking for answers. Okay. So usually we start with K-layout default, which means you can select in edit mode and viewer mode. Since we are start learning how to use it, so we'll choose edit mode. Okay, and supposedly you should have all the toolbar here. Once you download, you should have those automatically. If you didn't see that, you can go to Setup, and under Application, you can put Editing Mode, and you just subscribe this one, so you can use Editing Mode by default. Okay. And after you select it, remember to restart the K-layout to implement your selections. Okay. Now we talk about how to use K-layout. So usually first we will have to click on the file and then you select new layout, and he will ask you to enter your cell name. Okay. So here you have a technology. Usually it's for if you have known technology to known rules of you are looking for the 18 micrometer or a 7 nanometer design profile. So but right now we don't care about it, so you can just use default, and you can enter the name of a top cell. Like here you enter cell 1, and you can define the unit of base and also the initial window size. Okay. And after you click OK, you should go to the main window, which is pretty much like this. Okay. Then on the top left, you have a hierarchy browser. So your cell will be here. You can increase different cells, also be here after you create more and more difficult layers. Okay. And you have libraries on this side. Library gives you some basic shapes like arc, circle, donut, ellipse. Okay. And you have a layer list. Like inside one cell, it could have different layers. This layer list here. And then you have layer toolbox to define which layer you want to turn on, which layer you want to turn off. Then here is where you can draw. Okay. And if you want to see the entire picture of your layout, you can click View and X for Navigator. So you know where you are drawing right now, and also how large is compared to the entire picture. Okay. Then we start with how to draw in shape. Like inside the cells, you have to asking for new layers, then we can draw it, right? So you first go to editing, and you have to put how large of each grid. The grid is each block here, like the size of it. So based on the dimension of your device, you can select the necessary grid to it. Like if something like you want to draw if you want to draw a device with minimal width 10 micrometer, then probably 1 micrometer grid is good enough. But if you want to draw something with feature size of 500 nanometer, then you may not use snapping on 1 micrometer. Otherwise, you can never draw something smaller than that. Okay. So snapping means when you are close to somewhere, it will automatically attach it. Okay, so it's easier to align, but sometimes it will make you hard to draw small features. Okay, so just remember to set up the adequate snapping here, size here. Okay. And after that, you can select the layers in the toolbox, and you can start to draw it. So like here, you can select, then you define what shapes and what size you want to have. Then you click apply, then you change to the way it is. Okay. So like you can also draw a box with it. So first you draw a box, then you select it, then you can edit. Okay, it's the easiest way to do it. Next, we talk about the partial mode. Like we can modify the object after it created. Okay, so like you select partial mode, then you can go to like you want to rotate it with any directions. So after you pick one angle of it, you can see you can just swipe it everywhere. Okay. And you can also scroll up and down too. And we also have a polygon mode. Usually you can use to draw arbitrary shapes. Okay, so also you can also just type it and also go slide everywhere. But first, usually you start with drawing the lines, and he will automatically fill it by yourself. And after that, you can use partial to increase or decrease the specific side. Okay. So the idea usually we first draw with polygon, and after that we use partial to modify it to fit what we need. Okay. And after that you have path. Path is usually like to create lines. So like you want to create wiring your device to some paths. You can use path to do it. Okay. And you can edit the width and the corners of your path too. Okay. So like you can select a path first and define how much width you want, and you click OK, and you start to draw it with where you want. And after you use select and you double click, you can go into this picture, this function to see what you want. And you can define the shape of your ending type. Okay. Next one is merge. So sometimes you draw several pictures, and because if you use polygon, you have to, like if you want to draw a polygon, you need to have several shapes and all have to be correct, right? So sometimes you will use two shapes to merge together. Okay. So like here, you can use, first you draw a box in these two pictures, and then you click merge. First you take a merge, then you merge them together. Okay, so you can see they are doing together. Okay, so after this will introduce the other function called boolean, and then you have all and end and exclusive or something. This merge is actually the same with all. Okay, so you draw a box here, and they will just stick together because they are all function in booleans. Okay, and also we have not, right? So not is like a different. We just move it, like you use erase here, and you click on box. Then you write a box, and the intersection part will be removed. And this is the same with the boolean not operation. So we call it erase. And then we have a mask. So mask is like the boolean of end. Okay, so only where is intersected will preserved. So like you click on mask, then you try to draw a box. So only the overlap part will be preserved. Okay, so we call it mask. Okay. The last one is called difference, and also you can call it exclusive OR. So which means is arbitrary of all function. So somewhere you intersected will be removed, and without intersection part, no intersection part will be preserved. Okay, so like you choose diff here, you draw a box. So this intersection part will be removed, but the other place will be preserved. Okay, so if you use and or an exclusive or smartly, you can draw any kind of shapes you need. Okay, and also you can easily create the shape with more flexibility. Okay. So right now we talk about how to editing those shapes. So first we will call selection. So when you want to select something, you can just click in the element to selection, click in the select, and just scroll it and dragging it to select it. Okay. And if you want to remove it, removing the selected parts, you can just press the Control and click what you don't want one by one. And reversely, if you click it one by one, it's 18 different parts you want to select to. Okay. So if you want 18 elements, you press Shift and click one by one. If you want to remove it, you have to use Control and with the mouse clicking. Okay. After that, we have a rotate. You can either rotate it clockwise or rotate it counterclockwise. Okay. So you choose the selection and choose the rotate here, and it works. So it rotated and overlapped. And you can do it again and you rotate it back. Okay. And use merge. You can use, like in the selection, you have merge tool. Then you can merge two shapes together, so there is no intersections. Okay, they completely merge, become one part. Okay. Next one, like how to move it. So if you want to move it, first you have to click the shape you want to move, and just using selection, choose move, and you can use the move to move by is you move to a specific distance. Okay, move to is using the positions. Okay, to a center point. Okay, so move by is that you put how much distance you want to move, and the move to is like you just enter the coordinates and move it. Okay. Also, you can just move it by your own mouse. Okay. And you can actually see where your mouse is here. Okay. Like when your mouse is moving, you can see the coordinates. Okay. So those can be a useful tool for you to moving your structures. Next, we talk about how to modify the shapes and how to separate doing the shape with a hollow, with something inside this hollow. Okay, so first, okay, so yeah, like the demonstration here. So first, you select two of them, and you can click intersections, which means without intersect part, they are moved. So this is end part, right? And how about not? So for not, you select both of them and click subtraction. So the intersection part will be moved, which means the outer one subtract the inner cross. Okay. So this is a way to draw like something you want the inside is empty, you can use the subtractions. Okay. Now we talk about the cell hierarchy. Okay. So I think using cell is important on K-layout because it allows us to separate parts of pattern into different cells. So when you group something into the same cells, those patterns will refer to each other. So you don't need to do all of them every time. You just need to edit the basic cells, then all the change will be go to the entire layout. Okay. So like if your layout have 10 cells, and if you change the cells, each cell inside, the entire all the cells on your wafer will be changed automatically. So you don't have to change things one by one or create a cell array again. Okay, so it could save you a lot of time too. So first is like how to create a new cell. So you just need to right click on the cell hierarchy panel and asking for a new cell. Okay, then you put the cell name, then you should have a new cell here. Okay. And after we have cells, we can actually place the cell inside your drawing region. Okay, so you can select instance mode from the toolbar. Then you call the cell you want. Okay. Like here we call cells here. Then you can put the cell in the location you need. But in this situation, they will mark as cell instead of the picture you have. Okay, and you can just flat the device. So which means you make cell under the hierarchy of device. So as you can see, the device is a larger space. The cell is something inside it in the small. Okay. If you somehow don't want to continue, you can just press ESC. He will cancel the operations. Okay. So in these structures, you see we have this device, right? And inside the device, we have two cells. Okay. So if you change the design of the cell, it will apply to the entire device easily, right? And if you have something above the device, then it will also change together too. Okay. So it's making it very convenient to changing the layout of entire wafer. Okay. And now we talk about how to create an array with K layout. Okay. So first we will use click. We will use a right mouse to double click on the cells, and you have this menu here, and you can decide how much row, how much column, and how's the distance. And by changing it, you can create different size of the arrays. Okay. And also you can change the location of your array too. Okay. So make sure you click the array instance before you start to create it. Okay. So you just need to put all this in. You will create the cell you want, the cell array you want. Then how about editing something inside cell? So here you can do is you select one cell and just trying to go into it, and you can start to edit it. So like if you want to become smaller, okay. And it become a structure like this. And when you go the upper layers, you see all the picture inside cell changes automatically, right? So is this situation, then you don't have to modify an array one by one. You can just modify your cells and make everything change together. The next one is a resolve array. So basically what we want to do is we want to remove something into individual instance, and so they can be edited individually. Okay. So because what happens is if we create a cell, we usually have to if we create a cell array, then they have to be modified together, right? But sometimes we don't want to do it. So you can click edit and the selection and do the resolve arrays. Then you can remove the arrays you don't want. Okay. So if you select it, then you put a cross mark here, then you can remove it. Okay. And also we talk about how to create an array of holes here. It's usually used to create positive and negative pictures together. Okay, because sometimes we want to try positive photoresist, sometimes we want to use negative photoresist. And if we have only one mask, then we can draw two of them, so they can both work on positive and work on negative photoresist. Okay. So here what we can do is initially we should have all the pictures like this, right? Like all the cells we have, and inside it is like this. And so we just need to show one of them, and we can design, change the layout. Okay. So like we add in extra layers and create a structure on the other layers. Okay. And somehow just make the layers as large as the entire cell we have. And then we can select it and using subtraction to remove something in next layer. Then after that, one layer will be positive photoresist and the other layer will be used for negative photoresist. So you can create two layers of layouts together instead of draw it one by one. Okay. Next, we talk about the cell copy. So we have two types of copy. First is shallow copy, so which means only the cell itself will be copied. Okay, and the other one is for deep copy, which means the cells and its child cells are copied. Okay. So like here, if we have a cell like this, and if we do shallow copy and paste somewhere, you can see only the cells was copied, right? But if we do a deep copy, So you see not the cells itself, but its child cell will all be copied and into new cells. Okay. So what is a new cell here means? It means they are not related to each other anymore. Okay. So like if you right now it's a device and device, the other device is copied, but these two cells have the same names, right? So which means they are still the same cell, and if you change one, the other will change together. But if you use deep copy, deep copy, then the cell will become the other name, which means you have a brand new cells. So you can, if you change the original cell, the copied cell will not be changed. Okay. So you see when you do deep copy, you don't the name of cell will not be the same anymore. Okay. And now we talk about how to use K cells. Okay. Sorry, P cells. So P cell is like a parameter page, so you can create more different shapes very convenient. Okay. So generally the ideas is you can launch P cells by clicking instance of some cells. Okay. And you can select there is a library that already have some P cell libraries. You can use the basic drawings for that. So it's some building shapes. And if you use basic library, you will have these small nuts here. You can tune the size later by yourself. Okay. So how to enter it is first you go instance, then there is a selection. You can use pre-sale, and like inside a library you have a lot of different shapes. So and also you can define a radius or how much number of points you want. It means how much number you will have to each shapes, the outer shapes. So if you have more points, definitely you will have more fine shapes too. Okay. But in the contrary, is if you do too much point on it, if it's possible to be printed out when you went to companies and asking to print your layout, if it's feasible to do it. Okay. And the other thing is if your structure needs such good resolution or not. Okay. And also you can put text. So sometimes you want to write like you want to write your copyright here, so you can use text here. Okay. So when we do a text, you have to remember first. You can use the text here, but you have to convert that one to a pixel. Okay. And if you convert it to cell, it will become a polygon. Okay. So this is actually a actually layout. Okay. Or you can just use the text in the pixel. They all should have the same result. Okay. So like first you can do text using the toolbar here and write down the text you want and define the size. So you will have your text here, okay? And after that you can select it and choose converter to pixel. Then you will become a polygon files. Okay, the polygon style that you can put on the mask. Okay. And also you can change the size. Okay. The other way is when you choose pixels, you can directly change the text here. It will also become what you write out. Okay. So two ways. One is using a toolbar and convert to pixel. The other one is go to a pixel library and using the text inside it. Okay, they should have the same result. Next one, we talk about a donut. So you go to the pixel library, you select donut. So donut means you have an inner circular and outer circular, and between them is a field space you want. Okay, the same like you will always, if you use pixel, you will always have the breakpoint here. By selecting it, you can scroll it to change the size. Okay. Next one we called is pi and arc. Okay, for pi is you have something like a pi, and you can change the radius. You can select the angle, start angle and end angle, and get how much point you want. Okay, so this is a structure, pi structure. And you scale, you will have the small black point here to change it. The other one we look for arc. Okay, so for arc is this structure, sometimes like this structure, so you have to set up two radius. Okay, and you can change the radius to change your shape, and also you can change the angle to define the angles from center to these two radius. Okay. So you have pretty much a lot of shapes to do with pixel, so it will be very convenient even you want to have some special structures. Last one, sorry, not last one, but we talk about the round path. Okay, so like we can create first we use paths to create two of same structures, and let's see how the round paths work. So first, when we convert to pixel, then we change it to round path. It means all the corners will be changed to a rounded procedure. Okay. But how about if we just do round on the path, then you will just round the outer. Okay. And also you can do round polygon also, like the right part here. So round path is to change the corners on where you turned. Okay. And the round polygon is to make the side of the multiple angle becomes smooth. Okay. And yeah, here we have a demonstration of round polygons. And you can select the how much radius for it. Okay. So scale have to convert to pixel and round the polygons. So you see the corners, all the corners will have a round and a smooth turns after we use this one. Okay. So round path is only looking for corners. Round polygon, you're looking for all the either the corners here and the place you turned. Okay. So they're slightly different here, just to trying to remember it. Okay. Last one is how to fill in. Okay. How to fill the shapes with patterns easier. Okay. So first we talk about the tool of fill. So if you remember in the beginning we remove it, right? Then we can use this to fill shapes with an array of shapes. Okay. So like if we draw something with a radius, okay. And we're trying to set up the cells. Okay. Just remember, in your cells, you have to have the same boundary, and the boundary have to be the same layer. So you can have the the KDL can identify the size of your cells. Okay. So this function is trying to use it like because usually our wafer is circular, right? And just putting arrays to fill it is sometimes is painful. Okay, so the easiest way is you can just draw a circular shape and with the same dimension of your wafer, and remember that have to be the same layer with the boundary of cells. Okay, so he can identify the size of it, and after that you can set up the layer you want, then he will automatically fill it to you. Okay, so you don't have to tune in how much array and trying to move it by yourself. The KDL can do it for you. Okay. And sometimes we don't want to fill it, but sometimes we want to fill a wafer, but we need some space on the edge, right? So you can use fill tool, but select the borders. Okay, you can select how much distance you want from the border to a cell. Okay, in that way you can try to avoid that your patterns goes to the edge of your wafer. Okay. Okay. So in the end, we talk about the homework that we will need you to practice, and this is mainly because when you are doing your final project, you will need to draw a layout for it. Okay. So this homework will help you to prepare it. Okay. So what we need, we want you to draw a device mask, and it have three layers. Okay, so the first layer will be a button layer, and then here is the dimension of it. Okay, so this is micrometer. The unit should be micrometer, so you have 700 micrometer here, 500 micrometer here, and this one is 3,000 micrometer as a boundary. Okay, and this will serve as a button electrode layer. Okay, and the second layer is a piezo layer. In this piezo layer, you have some open spaces, but just remember the coordinates have to be aligned. Okay, so this opening here have to fit the opening here. Okay, and also the opening here too. Okay, so these three layers, they are going to stack each other, and the open space of piezo layer should cover all of them. Okay, so the last layer will be top electrode. So finally, you will need to fill it, okay? And we want you to do, one is for positive photoresist, the other one will be for negative photoresist. So you will need to create two files of it. So one, and the wafer size will be 4-inch, okay, for both of them. So you need first to draw the wafer size by yourself inside and use the function of fill to fill all the cells you just drew on the previous slides, okay? And you will need to try to convert from the previous one we are drawing the positive photoresist part, right? So that's why they are empty here. But next one you have to convert it, become a mask that used for negative photoresist. Okay, so you have more empty size with the feature you want will be covered and you don't want will be empty. Okay, so you will have two masks generated in this homework. Okay, so in summary, that KLayout is very useful and it's free. So they have a lot of built-in functions. So you can help, with the help, you can create the structures, the shapes you want. And after that, you can fill the entire wafer automatically by the function inside. Okay. And also you can even define the distance between the boundary of wafer to the cells you want. Okay. So it's very helpful. So we need you to download it, install it, and play with it. Okay. And in the end, we will need you to do a homework for that, which is a 3-layer mask, and you have to put it on a 4-inch wafer. Okay. And we want you to have both mask for positive and negative photoresist. Okay. So I think in this part we will stop here.